Hello and welcome to a video featuring Scrapbook.com's Christmas in July items. There are some super adorable items you can snag right now from Scrapbook.com to create all of your Christmas cards and get a head start on all of those holiday projects. Today I'm sharing a card example featuring a Slimline card using this adorable Slimline Christmas Foliage stamp set and some adorable colored cardstock from Scrapbook.com as well. Now, this Slimline stamp set is so cool because it's perfectly sized for those Slimline cards that are so popular right now. And I love a good patterned background stamp because they are so perfect and versatile for using in a lot of different ways. So I picked out a few different cardstock colors from the smooth Slimline paper pack, and I wanted to do kind of a tone on tone effect for each of these. So I selected a lighter and a darker green, and then the same with the red, a lighter and a darker red. And I'm using these great inks from Scrapbook.com that are perfect for this kind of stamping. Now I put these into my Misty, and I have positioned them so that I could restamp if I needed to, but I actually didn't need to do that because these inks were so great on the first stamp. The colors that I used for this are Succulent, Pine, and Cardinal Red, and these I think fit perfectly. The Cardinal Red worked great on both the light and dark red, and then I used the two different greens for the different colors of green cardstock. Once all of my stamping was done, I was ready to move on and start creating the card itself. I think that these turned out so beautiful, and I'm so excited for you guys to see the finished result. I grabbed the nested star die from Scrapbook.com and used one of the sizes of stars to cut out all of my now patterned cardstock. Once I finished cutting out each of those colors, I used a slightly smaller size of the stars from that same die set and cut out each in white. Now, I ended up only using 3 out of the 4 just because 4 was a little too crowded, but you can definitely use the leftovers for another card. But if you want to recreate this one, you only need 3 out of the 4 colors. I decided to do a little bit of heat embossing because I love the effect of a white heat embossed sentiment on black cardstock. It really just pops and makes a big statement on your card. So I'm using this second piece of the Slimline Christmas Foliage stamp set, the fa la la part, to do my heat embossing here. Now, when you're heat embossing, you always want to make sure to treat your surface with an anti-static powder so that the embossing powder only sticks where we put the ink. You're going to stamp your sentiment in the clear embossing ink and then pour on a white embossing powder. This one is Ranger's Super Fine Detail White Embossing Powder, and I get great results with this, so it is a go-to for me when I make my cards. I used a super sharp pair of scissors from Scrapbook.com to cut out around the letters here. Originally, I planned to use this all as one piece, but then decided to trim each little bit into its own kind of sentiment strip, so then you get the fa, the la, and the la all separate instead of a block of text. I decided that I wanted some coordinating colors here instead of just a plain white star. So what I've done is use the ink pad to color my cardstock so that you can get perfectly coordinated colors without having to buy extra paper if you are out. So you can color coordinate these by using the ink pads, which is really great. Now I've done that with each of the colors and it was really fast. However, you do want to make sure that if you're working with another white surface that you do clean your hands or give these some time to dry so that you're not getting inky fingerprints all over your beautiful white card. Now that Slimline card base that I've used is from the Slimline card package that you can get. It's a 10 pack from Scrapbook.com, and it comes with the card bases and the envelopes, so you're all set to go to send your cards. Once I was done coloring my cardstocks, I went ahead and started assembling the card. Now I'm using a liquid adhesive from Scrapbook.com to do this, but you could use a tape runner if you're more comfortable with that as well. When you first open your glue from Scrapbook.com, you will need to remove the red stopper that's inside, but all you have to do is take off the lid and remove that red piece and then put the lid back on and you're ready to start using your glue. A little of this adhesive goes a long way, so you don't need to slather it on there. Just a few dots will be perfect for securing your card and keeping everything in place. I love that it comes in this little tiny bottle, but there are also larger sizes available, so you can always check that out if you feel like you'll need more glue than just what comes in the small bottle. After I applied the adhesive to all of my patterned stars, I was ready to go ahead and assemble the rest of the card. Now, I considered at first that maybe I would just want to use the same adhesive and apply those stars to the cardstock directly. But then I thought, why not add a little dimension and fun to these cards? So I decided to grab a little bit of the double-sided foam adhesive. So this is a foam tape from Scrapbook.com, and it is my absolute favorite of any foam tape that I have ever used because the backing comes off so easily. I don't know if you're like me and you've struggled a ton with all these different brands of foam tape where you can't get the backer off and you mutilate the foam tape just trying to get that backing released. This is not that kind of foam tape. The backing comes off so easy and it is an absolute dream to use. So I applied some of that double-sided foam adhesive to the back. This is the 1/4 inch size. It comes in a few different sizes, so you can definitely check those out. But I applied a little bit of that to the back of each of the stars and attached those in place, and then did the same with the fa la la sentiment pieces. I did have to double up some of the foam in a few places just so that it wasn't uneven because it was a double layer of foam, but I absolutely love how that dimension turned out. Thank you so much for spending some time with me while we made this card today. I hope that you love it as much as I do. If you're inspired to create one, be sure to tag us on social media so that we can see what you are up to, and I can't wait to see you in another video really soon.